Hey, my name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. If you're new, well, I like to react to video game music from games I've never heard or played. I am a musician. I play guitar, both classical, electric, whatever. I play it. Today I'm going to be doing a Patreon request for one of the cooler names from my requesters, Velocifaptor. Yes, I love it. This is a first on the channel, Jet Set Radio Future. Song is called Funky Dealer. Never played this game. I have heard the name Jet Set Radio. I never heard the Future one. Every time I think of this game, I think of like the Dreamcast. So I don't know if it's that era, if it came in later, but I do see Sega original tracks. And, I have a big nostalgic bone in my body for Sega since it's my first console. Anywho, this is Funky Dealer. I'm kind of anxious with that title, but we'll see. Funky Dealer, Jet Set Radio Future. Let's go.
I ain't a winner. Pay the front line, take the don'ts. He's coming out again for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. 4-4's the point, mark 4. Ace, deuce, scraps, wants 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 4. Ace, deuce, scrap, want 4. Scrap, want 4. Who wants the hard 4? 5 wants 4.
Check me out, y'all.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god, the
Got a hot
bass.
hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 4 and he made it the hard way. Pay the front line, take the hard.
Oh my god, the
Shooter and a good
bass.
one. Coming out for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen.
It's so clear.
The rolling point is 9. Place 9. Place 9. 8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. He's a rolling point is 9. Place 9. 8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. Who wants to come? 6 to point.
Check me out, y'all.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa, dude.
Got a hot hand.
Whoa.
Place your bets, place your bets. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
I love that cut. So funky.
8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. He's a rolling point is 9. Place 9. 8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. Who wants to come? Place 6. Coming out again for a new point.
A little build up coming. I feel like it's gonna drop like really fat right now.
5 wants 4.
Check me out, y'all.
4 4's the point, mark 4. Ace, deuce, scraps, wants 4. Ace, deuce, deuce.
I keep talking about the bass, but the guitar is actually going like insane right now.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Got a hot hand. Hot hand. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Got a hot hand. Hot hand. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Who wants to come?
Check me out, y'all.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand.
Dun, dun, dun.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Nine a winner. Pay the front line. Take the don'ts. He's coming out again for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. 4 4's the point. Mark 4. Ace, deuce, deuce. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Play 6.
Video game music is so tight. Okay, it definitely lives up to the name, funky, kind of a little disco too, but funk. Okay. course, let's talk about the bass. The bass was far and wide at the start of the show. Unbelievable popping technique, slapping technique. Just, I'm so jealous of people that can do that. I wish I could do that. It's so cool because people that can do that are like probably the most rhythmic people alive. They're turning these strings and their hands into a rhythm machine. And it's so beautiful to watch. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, just like YouTube search like a bass pop and slap solo or something. And you're probably actually going to see a bassist that I'm going to recommend here. Now, this is not all this bassist does, but they can, and that's Victor Wooten. Victor, Wooten, I believe. There's so many, but that's just the one that came to mind. Also, if you like guitar playing like this, I would look into Nile Rodgers, aka like the funk guitarist. If you heard funk guitar in the past like 30 years, more than that, 50 years maybe, it was probably Nile Rodgers. And it's just a genre that doesn't really get a lot of love, but everybody loves it. Isn't that weird? It doesn't get a lot of love, but everybody loves it. Everybody, when you hear funk, it's just like, oh yeah, you know, that's cool. It's stylish and everything. Speaking of which, the immediate reaction I got when I heard this was arcades, you know. And if my mind serves me correctly, if this was the Dreamcast, that was pretty much, again, if it's the same era, that was like the end of the arcade, right? The late 90s. And pretty much like the decline of Sega, too. So it was kind of conflicting me because, you know, arcades were so nostalgic and historical and everything, but then right after this is like when they started to die out. The reason it reminded me of that is because when you walked into an arcade, you heard music like this because they were meant to catch your attention. You would walk past and you would hear like click, click, clack over here. You would hear boom, boom, boom over here. And then all of a sudden you walk past something and you heard something similar to this. So you kind of, you know, every company was fighting for your quarters. So I'm not sure if Jet Set was an arcade game, but from what I've seen, it had like a arcade feel. I think, I might be confusing it with Crazy Taxi. I could be wrong. I didn't own a Dreamcast, but I think Jet Set Radio was like a fast-paced, moving game. Not a racing game per se? Maybe? I don't know. Either way, they're on roller skates. So I feel like stuff is moving, and that music fits. So that music, if the music fits the gameplay, which I think it does, then it'd be really fast. Lots of twists and turns, maybe like SSX style. I don't know, but that's the vibe I got. But I definitely thought of an arcade, so it made me really nostalgic. Because when you went to the mall in the 90s, you would hear stuff like this at your local arcade. This is going to be kind of weird because I'm like pretty much going to talk about another game, which I haven't done. But last year, there was a game that caught my attention called Knockout City, which you can still play now. I think it might be free. Don't quote me on that. But just a quick little talk about Knockout City. I played it for a while. I got pretty good at it. It's like a dodgeball game. It's really cool. The reason I'm bringing it up is because the soundtrack to that game is very unique. And it's very reminiscent of this, where it's like... The reason I'm saying it is because I've seen the behind the scenes footage of how they made music for that game, and they were basically told to make like music from the 50s and kind of funk as well, but make it like futuristic style. Jet Set Radio Future. So like it's games like this that inspired, in my opinion, soundtracks to like Knockout City. And that's not a plug to it. The game's great, and the soundtrack is amazing for that game. But I feel what I'm saying is like it definitely draws inspiration from this, like that kind of futuristic take on an old genre. Funk is old, man. Funk is super old. But this modernized it. It kind of brought it like a new skin, and that's why it sounds so interesting. You're just like, wait, what is going on? You know, it's such a, you know, ancient genre mixed with electronic sounds and electronic drums and fast different tempos, all that stuff. So I would check out some of the soundtrack to Knockout City. To be totally honest, it is a video game as well, so kind of works. Not much to say, but my first experience with Jet Set Radio of any kind was fantastic. Super memorable. I really, really enjoyed it. It was really fast paced. It was like really fast funk. And no idea what this game is about, but I know it involves movement. I know it involves music. And I know it involves wheels. I'm just looking at the art. But from what I know, I believe this game has like a cult following. Even to this day, 20 something years later, just because I've always been around video games, I'm aware of Jet Set Radio. It's one of those games, like you know about it, even if you don't know about it. It's like it just kind of lingers in the back of your head because it was so popular, but at the same time, maybe not so popular in other parts of the world. It's one of those kind of just bizarre games. And the vibe I get from this is a lot of attention to detail with the art of it, the whole art, the style, the music, everything, maybe even the gameplay. There's a lot of love here, and it shows. And that's why it stands the test of time 20 something years later. I don't know when this one was released, I'm sorry. I don't even know how many games there are in the series. So that's it, without me sounding like a broken record. This song is really, really cool. Think of funk and then think of futuristic elements added to it. So it has a really old and new kind of spin to it, which again is exactly what Knockout City is. And basically what I'm saying is if you like this, you should check out the soundtrack to that. And vice versa. Really cool. Really, really cool. And speaking of cool, the Requester Velocifactor, also cool as well. Thank you so much for sending me that. Finally, after so many years, I've checked out something regarding Jet Set Radio. And I'm glad to say it didn't disappoint. So, really, really cool. For those that don't know, like I grew up with like hip hop and stuff like that. So I might play guitar and I might look like a metalhead. But, I'm very familiar with this genre as well. And, so... It was a treat because I don't get that a lot. People think I just listen to metal, which is so far from the truth. I love stuff like this, so thank you to mix it up on the channel. The more you mix it up on the channel, the happier I get. With that said, I will stop talking now. If you want to get your own request in just like they did, you can subscribe on Patreon, monthly subscription, or you can send just a one-time PayPal thing. Either are okay, but they just guarantee that I will check out your song if you don't mind waiting. If you don't want to wait, there is a Platinum Trophy tier, which is a limited slot tier that expedites your requests substantially, and you don't have to wait. So shout out to Fly and Jack for being Platinum Trophy supporters. I appreciate it. To all my supporters, thank you as well. My name is Jesse. I will see you in the next video. Take it easy, everyone. Have a great night, and take care of yourselves.